Stop scrolling. This 1-cent coin was struck with a mistake so big, it can instantly make you rich. If your 1955 penny looks like you're seeing double, pay attention. We're talking about the most famous error in American history, the 1955 double die obverse. Only 20,000 were ever released, and the best one just sold for an unbelievable $93,000. Grab your change jar. We're going to show you the one spot to look for this life-changing treasure. Welcome back to our channel, where we journey through history, one coin at a time. Today, we're setting our sights on a seemingly ordinary piece of American currency that might just be hiding an extraordinary secret: the 1987 United States quarter dollar. At first glance, it looks like any other quarter you might find in your pocket change, but stick with us, because this particular coin from 1987 has a story that could turn your spare change into a significant windfall. We'll delve into its history, design, and what makes some of these quarters incredibly valuable. You absolutely won't want to miss the grand reveal at the end, where we uncover just how much a specific 1987 quarter could be worth. Let's rewind to the year 1987. The United States was in a period of economic growth and cultural shifts. Ronald Reagan was in the White House, The Simpsons was about to make its debut, and popular music was dominated by artists like Michael Jackson and U2. In the midst of all this, the U.S. Mint was busy producing millions of quarter dollars for everyday commerce. These coins were designed for transactions, not for collecting, which is precisely what makes finding a pristine example from this year so intriguing. Most quarters from 1987 were used, abused, and circulated, bearing the marks of countless hands and cash registers. This widespread circulation is a key factor in why some of these coins, especially those in exceptional condition, have become genuinely rare and highly sought after by collectors today. Now, let's appreciate the classic design of the 1987 quarter dollar. On the obverse, the head's side, we find the iconic profile of George Washington, the first President of the United States. This timeless portrayal, designed by John Flanagan, has graced the quarter since 1932. Below Washington's chin, you'll see the mint mark, which tells us where the coin was produced. D for Denver, P for Philadelphia. The motto, "In God We Trust," is prominently displayed, and the word Liberty arcs above his head, symbolizing the enduring ideals of the nation. This familiar imagery is a constant reminder of American heritage and values, embedded in a coin that has facilitated billions of transactions over decades. Flipping over to the reverse, the tail's side, we are greeted by the majestic American bald eagle, perched with arrows and an olive branch in its talons, representing both readiness for defense and the desire for peace. The words, "United States of America" and "quarter dollar" encircle the eagle with "E pluribus unum" out of many, one beneath it. This powerful imagery of the eagle is a fundamental symbol of American strength and freedom. While the design itself is standard for the Washington Quarter series, it's the subtle nuances and potential anomalies in specific 1987 issues that transform an ordinary coin into a collector's dream. The striking details of the eagle, when perfectly preserved, are a testament to the minting process and the potential for a coin to transcend its initial purpose. So, what elevates a 1987 quarter dollar from pocket change to a collector's prize? It primarily boils down to two critical factors: condition and minting errors. As we mentioned, millions of these coins were minted, but very few survived the rigors of daily use in what collectors call mint state, or uncirculated condition. A quarter that has never been spent, never rubbed against other coins, and has retained its original luster is a true rarity. Collectors use a grading scale, and coins graded MS-65 or higher are particularly desirable. The fewer scratches, dents, or signs of wear, the higher its potential value. Imagine finding a coin from 1987 that looks like it was just struck yesterday. These unblemished specimens are the ones that command premium prices. Beyond pristine condition, the world of coin collecting is fascinated by error coins. These are quarters that have some kind of anomaly or mistake from the minting process. For the 1987 quarter, collectors are always on the lookout for specific types of errors. These could include doubled dies, where the image or lettering appears slightly blurred or doubled due to a misalignment during the striking process. Another significant error would be a missing mint mark, though less common for this specific year. There are also off-center strikes, where the coin blank wasn't perfectly centered when it was struck, resulting in a portion of the design being cut off. These unique imperfections are incredibly rare and make each era coin a one-of-a-kind piece, highly sought after by those who appreciate the unique stories these flaws tell. A true era coin can elevate a quarter's value exponentially, turning a mere 25 cents into something far more substantial. Now, for the moment you've all been waiting for. We've explored the history, the classic design, and the elements that contribute to a coin's rarity. If you happen to possess a 1987 United States quarter dollar, particularly one from the Philadelphia Mint, in an exceptionally high, uncirculated grade, perhaps even a gem like MS-67 or higher, or, even more thrilling, if you are fortunate enough to discover one with a highly significant, verifiable minting error, then you could be holding a coin valued at an astonishing $65,000. That's right, an ordinary-looking quarter from 1987 could be worth an incredible $65,000. So, next time you're going through your change, or perhaps rummaging through an old coin jar, keep a keen eye out for that unassuming 1987 quarter. You might just have a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. Today, we're focusing on one of the most historically significant and potentially valuable pennies ever struck by the United States Mint, the 1944 Lincoln wheat cent. This unassuming little coin holds the weight of World War II in its very metal. If you have one of these, don't just toss it in your jar. Stay with us, because we're going to unlock the secrets of the 1944 penny, from its common circulation value to the incredible, six-figure auction records held by its truly special and rare cousins. A penny forged in War 1944 was a monumental year for the United States. It was the peak of America's involvement in World War II. Resources were strained, and material shortages were a serious threat. This reality drastically affected the U.S. Mint's production. The year before, 1943, the U.S. Mint had famously struck the 1-cent coin on zinc-coated steel planchets to conserve copper for the war effort, specifically for making shell casings. This change made the 1943 penny unique, it's magnetic and silver-colored. In 1944, however, the government managed to secure enough copper, reportedly from spent brass shell casings and other reclaimed war materials, to resume production of the traditional bronze cent. This return to the familiar coppery composition makes the 1944 coin a symbol of the transition and resourcefulness during the final intense years of the war. The standard 1944 issue, a common coin, the 1944 wheat penny, was struck in massive quantities at all three U.S. mints. Philadelphia, no mint mark, over 1.4 billion coins were made. Denver, D mint mark, over 430 million coins. San Francisco, S mint mark, over 282 million coins. Because of this astronomical production, the highest annual mintage for any Lincoln cent up to that time, the vast majority of 1944 cents you find today are common. A typical circulated coin, one that's been in pockets and cash registers for decades, is usually worth just a few cents above face value. However, the key is the condition. Collectors are always seeking coins that have been perfectly preserved in their original state. An uncirculated coin, often graded by experts as MS-65 red or higher, can be worth anywhere from a few dollars to several $100s, depending on the mint mark and the final grade. The red designation means the coin retains its vibrant, original copper luster. The numismatic dream, the era that shouldn't exist here, is where the history of this coin turns into a spectacular treasure hunt. The composition switch in 1943 led to a couple of incredible, accidental errors the following year, which created two of the most valuable coins in U.S. numismatics. The error lies in the accidental use of the previous year's materials, steel. During the changeover from steel planchets back to bronze planchets, a small number of the leftover zinc-coated steel blanks from 1943 were mistakenly caught up in the 1944 production process. They were struck with the 1944 dies. This created the legendary 1944 steel cent, a steel penny dated 1944. There are confirmed examples from all three mints, but they are incredibly rare. 1944p steel cent, extremely few examples are known, possibly only 30. 1944d steel cent, only a handful have ever been confirmed. 1944s steel cent, this is also a major rarity. If you have a 1944 penny, you can quickly check if you have a potential treasure by using a magnet. If your 1944 cent sticks to a magnet, you have one of the most significant and valuable error coins in the world. Be cautious, however, as many counterfeits exist, so authentication by a professional grading service is absolutely necessary. The key variety, the D over S beyond the famed off-metal error, another variety commands high prices, the 1944 D/S over mint mark. This coin shows remnants of an S for the San Francisco Mint, punched beneath the larger D for the Denver Mint, where the mint mark is located. This error resulted from a reused or repurposed die at the Denver facility. While not as valuable as the steel cent, a top-grade 1944 D/S is rare and can sell for thousands of dollars to a dedicated collector. This specific variety demonstrates the pressures and rush of wartime production that led to such mistakes. The final value reveals. So, what is the ultimate value of this wartime cent? While your average circulated 1944 penny is an affordable piece of history, the confirmed, authenticated, and highest graded example of the nearly non-existent 1944 steel penny, a true historical anomaly, has achieved incredible auction results, securing its place as one of the most valuable copper-era coins. For a single, certified, mint-state example of this unique error that should never have existed, collectors have paid prices reaching an astounding $70,000. Remember to always look closely at your coins. You never know when a mistake made 8 decades ago might turn into a fortune today. Happy hunting! Today, we're stepping back into the late 1940s, a crucial transitional period for America, to uncover the secrets of the often overlooked 1949 Lincoln wheat cent. This penny, struck just 4 years after the end of World War II, represents a nation settling back into peacetime, with factories humming not for war materials, but for domestic prosperity. But while billions of these coins were made, a small fraction harbors a destiny far beyond its 1 cent face value, with some specialized pieces achieving auction prices that will absolutely stagger you. Stick around, because we're going to walk you through the details that separate a common copper coin from a collector's absolute dream. The post-war production boom. The year 1949 saw the U.S. Mint facilities at Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco operating in high gear. America was experiencing a boom, and the demand for coinage was immense. The design remained the classic wheat cent, Victor David Brenner's dignified profile of President Lincoln on the front, and the beloved twin stalks of wheat, symbolizing American abundance, on the reverse. But to truly understand the coin's worth, we must look at the mintage figures and the location where it was struck. Philadelphia, no mint mark struck well over 217 million coins. These are common today, and most circulated examples are only worth a few cents. Denver, D mint mark produced over 153 million coins. The D mark beneath the date on the obverse signifies this production. San Francisco, S mint mark minted the lowest quantity, just over 64 million coins. This smaller production run immediately gives the 1949 S a slight edge in rarity, making top-grade examples more valuable than their counterparts. In circulated condition, these coins are common. But the moment you find one that gleams with its original shine, known in numismatic circles as uncirculated or mint state, the value begins to climb, with the San Francisco S mint mark leading the pack. The pursuit of perfection, the full red, rarity for the 1949 penny, as with many copper coins, the greatest value is tied to its color. Copper oxidizes easily, turning brown or red-brown over time. The ultimate, most desirable state is full red RD, meaning the coin retains its vibrant, original coppery luster, untouched by environment or human hands. Finding a 1949 penny in a top grade, such as MS-66 or MS-67, and certified as full red, is incredibly difficult. Even though hundreds of millions were originally struck, almost all of them spent decades in circulation, losing that delicate, pristine color. The difference between an MS-66 brown and an MS-66 red of the 1949s is measured in hundreds, sometimes thousands, of dollars. These stunning red examples are what drive the serious collector market. The hidden jackpot, errors and unique varieties. The true potential for finding a life-changing treasure, however, lies in the minting mistakes and rare dye varieties. The 1949 cent is known to have a few specialized varieties that ignite intense collector interest. One of the most noteworthy is the 1949's double die obverse, DDO. This error, where the date and inscriptions on Lincoln's side appear noticeably doubled, is the result of a faulty die preparation. While many double die varieties exist in the Lincoln cent series, the significant, authenticated doubling on any of the 1949 mint marks is a highly prized find. Furthermore, collectors always hunt for repunched mint marks, RPMs, where a mint mark like the D or S was accidentally stamped multiple times, slightly offset from the main impression. These unique markers of manufacturing error, combined with a coin in immaculate condition, transform a mere penny into a numismatic artifact. The seven-figure potential. While a beautiful, perfect 1949's red cent might sell for hundreds or even a couple of $1,000s to a collector looking to complete a set, the legendary auction prices are reserved for the most phenomenal, one-of-a-kind specimens. We must look toward the authenticated, non-collectible grade coins that achieve ultimate rarity. This often includes highly unusual off-metal errors or those few pieces that have been deemed the single finest known example, a coin with a major, unique error or one that has survived in a flawless state beyond any other specimen. These absolute pinnacle coins, those that have truly escaped all wear, error, or damage over 7 decades, are the ones that rewrite price records. When a 1949 cent of this caliber, certified as the finest known or carrying an extremely rare, significant, and verifiable error, surfaces on the auction block, the competition is fierce. For that singular, perfect rarity, a coin that represents the absolute maximum of grade and scarcity for this date, the market price can soar to an authenticated auction value of $78,000. Resetting our sights on a coin that represents a beautiful and stable era in American history, the final years of a beloved design, the 1956 Lincoln wheat cent. On the surface, this coin looks like any other wheat penny. You might find one in an old tobacco tin or a grandparent's coin jar. But don't let its common appearance fool you. The 1956 penny, especially when found in certain conditions or with key anomalies, is a coin that has commanded shocking prices at auction, pushing its value far beyond the copper and zinc it was struck from. Join us as we explore the story, the scarcity, and the breathtaking high value of this mid-century penny. A look back at 1956. The age of prosperity. The year 1956 was one of robust post-war prosperity in the United States. Eisenhower was in the White House, the suburbs were booming, and Elvis was king. The U.S. Mint was working overtime to supply the currency needed for this surging economy. The 1956 cent was struck in 2 main locations. Philadelphia, no mint mark produced an immense quantity, well over 1 billion coins. Denver, the mint mark struck an even larger number, topping 1 billion coins as well. With such enormous mintages, it's no surprise that circulated 1956 pennies, the ones worn smooth by decades of commerce, are extremely common and are typically only worth a small premium to collectors. They are plentiful reminders of a bygone era. The collector's focus, immaculate condition. Since so many 1956 coins were struck, the key to finding real value is the condition. Collectors are not seeking common circulated pieces, they are searching for perfection. We look for coins in uncirculated or mint state condition. These coins were never spent. They retain their original mint luster and sharp details. Within this category, color is everything. Brown, bien the oxidized, darker copper color. Red-brown, RB a mix of original copper and oxidation. Full red RD the absolute peak of condition. This is a coin that has kept its vibrant, fresh from the press, coppery red glow. Because copper is so susceptible to oxidation and handling damage, the survival rate of coins in the highest grade, such as MS67 red, is astonishingly small. A tiny percentage of the more than 2 billion coins made manage to escape the damage of time and human touch. It is these spectacular survivors, certified and slabbed by grading agencies, that begin to sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The 1956D is particularly difficult to find in the MS67 red grade, pushing its auction prices higher than its Philadelphia counterpart. The true rarity, the double die story, but for the most astounding, life-changing values, we must look beyond condition and into the realm of era coins and rare varieties. The 1956 cent is known for several fascinating minting anomalies, mistakes that happened under the pressure of mass production. One of the most valuable varieties is the 1956D repunched mint mark, D/D. This is a noticeable variety where the D mint mark beneath the date on the obverse was clearly stamped multiple times, slightly offset. While less dramatic errors are relatively common, the best, most defined examples of the D/D repunched mint mark are highly desirable. They represent a tangible, historical mistake in the coin's production and are fiercely pursued by variety specialists. In addition to the repunched mint mark, collectors are always on the hunt for a definitive double die obverse, DDO, where the date, motto, or letters show distinct, clear doubling. While many small die scratches or minor blemishes can be mistaken for doubling, an authenticated, significant double die error on a 1956 cent is a major rarity. The ultimate treasure. So, what happens when a top-tier, authenticated mint error, one that is either unique or the single finest known example, is combined with a grade of absolute perfection, like MS67 plus red? That convergence of condition and error creates a coin so scarce it becomes legendary. These are the coins that transcend ordinary numismatics and become investment-grade pieces of art and history. The record price for a 1956 wheat penny is reserved for one of these phenomenal pieces, a certified, flawless specimen that represents the pinnacle of survival from the mid-century era. For the single, undisputed, highest-graded example, a coin with an unblemished, vibrant red surface and a clear, significant variety, a dedicated collector has been willing to pay an unbelievable price, pushing the coin's value into the world of major auction houses, achieving a staggering value of $80,000. Focusing on a little copper coin from the post-war era, the 1955 Lincoln wheat cent, a coin that, for all intents and purposes, should be common. Yet, because of a remarkable and legendary minting blunder, the 1955 penny stands apart. It is a coin that instantly changed the face of era collecting and continues to hold some of the most jaw-dropping auction records in the entire Lincoln cent series. If you're searching through pocket change or inherited collections, this is the one date you must stop and scrutinize. The year of the shift, 1955 was a year of optimism and cultural change in America. It was also a critical year for the U.S. Mint, which was still producing the iconic wheat cent design, nearing the end of its run. The 1955 penny was struck at all three facilities that year, but one mint mark in particular is a key to value for the standard coin, Philadelphia. No mint mark produced a massive quantity of over 330 million coins. Denver, D mint mark struck over 563 million coins, an enormous mintage. San Francisco, S mint mark produced only about 45 million coins. For a regular 1955 wheat cent, the 1955 S from San Francisco is the relative scarcity, making high-grade examples more desirable. However, in circulated condition, nearly all of these 1955 pennies are only worth a modest premium, until you find the magic ingredient. The search for the legendary mistake. The reason the 1955 cent is famous and commands legendary value has nothing to do with the San Francisco Mint's low mintage and everything to do with a spectacular, accidental error that occurred at the Philadelphia Mint. This coin is known simply as the 1955 double die obverse, or the 1955 DDO. Here is what happened. During the minting process, a working die was incorrectly hubbed. The die received two separate blows from the working hub, but between the blows, the hub slightly shifted or rotated. The result was a dramatic, unmistakable doubling of the coin's features. If you look at the double die variety, the doubling is not subtle. You can clearly see a distinct, superimposed ghost image, most notably on the date. 1955. The word, liberty, and the motto, "In God We Trust." It looks as if the coin was stamped twice, slightly offset, creating a striking and beautiful effect. It is estimated that perhaps 40,000 of these era coins were struck on a single night shift at the Philadelphia Mint. What's more incredible is that the Mint didn't catch the error in time, and roughly half of them, about 20,000 to 24,000 coins, were accidentally released into circulation, often mixed into bags with regular coins. Why this error is the crown jewel of the 1955 DDO is arguably the most famous and recognizable era coin in all of U.S. numismatics. Its value is determined almost entirely by the severity of the doubling and the coin's condition. Circulated DDO, even a well-worn 1955 DDO, one that has been in circulation for decades, is still worth thousands of dollars. It is a prize piece that collectors will pay handsomely for, regardless of surface wear. Uncirculated DDO, a double-die coin that somehow avoided circulation and retains its original full red luster, is the Holy Grail. These coins are exceptionally rare because they had to survive two extreme circumstances: being struck by an error die and being perfectly preserved afterward. The value jumped from a worn double die to a certified, high-grade, original red double die is breathtaking, easily moving the coin from a few $1,000s up into the high tens of thousands. The ultimate value reveal: while most 1955 pennies are worth just pennies, and a beautifully preserved 1955s might fetch $100, the authentic, legendary 1955 double die obverse is in a class of its own. Its prominence in the hobby, its dramatic appearance, and its historical significance ensure it will always be highly prized. But for the absolute, single finest known example, a certified specimen with perfect centering, a pristine, vibrant full red surface, and the strongest possible doubling, the coin transcends typical collector prices. This pinnacle of perfection and rarity, the definitive 1955 DDO, has achieved an auction record that places it among the most expensive era cents in history. For that ultimate, flawless piece, the price has reached an incredible $93,000. So, the next time you encounter a 1955 penny, grab your loupe. That tiny, subtle shift in the date could be a sign you're holding a monumental piece of American coinage history, and a fortune. Thanks for watching, and happy treasure hunting! Don't forget to subscribe for more hidden coin revelations.